welcome back to Chit Chat with Chels.
And Jesse. Why can't you introduce me?
Because I think that's your responsibility. At this point, I feel like that's your responsibility.
Well, alrighty then.
For the first 10 episodes, I did introduce you.
I don't believe that. We're on episode 13.
You say that and I will double check.
Anyway.
Oh, goodness. How has your week been?
Cold.
Yeah, it's fucking cold. This morning, it was -13 when I was headed to work and had to get gas.
That's the actual temperature.
Yeah.
Our wind chill was 36 below this morning.
Lucky me. I had to stop and get gas. There was some dude at the gas station. As soon as I pulled up, I could hear him trying to crank his truck. And it would not start. And as I was checking out, because I got a breakfast sandwich and some coffee. And as I was checking out, he came in. He goes, "So my diesel truck is froze up out there, and it's not going to go anywhere. Is that okay?"
Where is that at?
At DTM.
Oh. Yeah, it's been cold. I was able to get on some fish that weren't little tiny dinks. I've got 2 videos I'm put out. They're not the best, but whatever. It's something for the YouTube channel. I was primarily just focusing on putting something full on Facebook. So I've got 2 of those. Now I just got to put the finishing touches on. I'm going fishing tomorrow. I'm fishing another private pond on Thursday. We're going to Clear Lake this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Leaving Friday.
Yep.
Nice long weekend.
It's finally been a fishy winter, which is nice.
A fishy winter. Yeah, people at work today were asking if you ice fished.
If there's water hard or wet, I'll fish it.
You should have seen You should have seen the look on my lead's face when I said yes and that we went together. And I was like, "Oh, but we have a hut and a heater and he has all the equipment and it's fine." And she was just like, "Okay."
Well, she don't want to go with us?
No.
Let's invite her anyway.
No. Anyway.
Jeez.
Anyway. My week has been awesome. I went and got a tattoo, which is awesome.
Yeah, it recently just got blasted by the dog.
Yeah, the fucking dog, dude. He tried to jump from the floor up to my lap, and both front paws grabbed a hold of my forearm, which is where the tattoo is, and he was just dangling there.
Yeah, he's also really good about grabbing.
Yeah, with his claws.
He's got little doggy fingers.
And it really hurt. And I looked at him and said, "Fuck you, Draco."
Yeah.
Because that really, really hurt. But that's exciting. Other than that, I've just been working, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's been kind of a slow start to the week for me. Not leaving really to do anything. It's just too damn cold. And I got some stuff I want to try and get done around here. And it's, we're getting close to when I'm going to have to go back to work.
Well, yeah. What?
Kind of. I mean, it's the end of January, so I normally have about a month left.
Yeah. End of February, beginning of March.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what was wrong with me last night. I think this cold is just getting to me because I literally got off work and came downstairs because I worked from home yesterday, and I laid my head on Jesse's shoulder and I just passed out.
For 5.5 hours.
For 5.5 hours.
She didn't wake up until 1 or 1:30 in the morning.
And then once he was done with his game, no, I woke up at 12:30 and we went to bed at 1:30.
Oh, okay.
When you were done with your game, and I passed back out until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and I totally would have been fine stopping playing my game at a normal time, but you were so passed out that I'm I'm not even gonna.
I don't even know. I was just so tired. I didn't even eat dinner.
So at 10:30 is when I came over to you and I put my hand on your shoulder and it was rubbing your shoulder. I'm like, "Babe, do you want to get up?" And you just didn't even hear me. Which, like I said, I didn't really try to wake you up because you were like in such a good sleep. It sounded like that. I'm just like, oh, whatever.
I really was too. Like, I mean, I remember the dogs kind of fucking with me a little bit, but other than that, like,
I was more worried about how you were gonna feel when you woke up.
when I sleep on the
Love
seat, I'm fine. When I sleep on the couch, it gives me a headache unless I have pillows. I think it's
because
just
the way your head
I
sits?
think it is. I think because like with the love seat, like it has such cushiony arms that your head just feels like it's on a pillow, but with the couch, it doesn't. So your head just feels like it's just up.
That makes sense.
So it always gives me a headache. But I was passed out on the love seat. Like apparently at some point, pretty much just kicked Jesse off of it, kicked the dogs off of it.
Well, I got up to
claimed it.
I think I got up to go to the bathroom and let the dogs out or something, and you weren't really out or like you weren't really spread out, but I'm like, she's got enough of it that I'm just gonna let her have it.
I do remember Spike freaking like getting underneath and just moving me out of the way.
He really did too. So like the way that you were laying, he just like shimmied you around. Like with his head. He's like, I'm gonna move her and I'm gonna lay up here too. And when he did that, you woke up briefly and looked at him and said, what the fuck? And then just went right back to sleep.
Oh, winter. I swear to God.
Yeah, it was just one of those times that I just looked over you and shook my head and then went back to doing what I was doing.
Okay, well, we're gonna get started, I think. Have you ever like been in the middle of something and looked at someone and thought, why don't you get it? Like, why don't you get what I'm trying to say to you?
I live with you.
Excuse you.
But yeah. I mean, it's happened with you, but it's,
or heard like a story and been like, how does the other person not understand where this person is coming from?
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of people have.
I can't really like give you an example. So I know like normally you ask these questions and I generally have a pretty good example to give you, but I don't really have one for this.
I feel like we've all been like, what is wrong with that person? Like,
yeah,
how do they not get this? How do they not understand it? And all of these stories are very different from each other, but they all have that common denominator of, why don't you understand? Like, why is this a thing that you're not understanding here?
Right.
So we're going to start out with one from 8 days ago. A lot of these are fairly new from r/AITAH. I think most, if not all of them is from AITAH today. 8 days ago. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my cousin the money I've been saving for my lifelong dream?
So OP doesn't want to give her money to her cousin or his? Okay. This should be good.
I, 20 female, have been saving for a study abroad program since I was 18. It's not just a trip. It's been my dream for years to travel, learn, and grow outside of my hometown. I've worked endless shifts, skipped vacations, and sacrificed so much to finally have enough money to make it happen. I've been counting down the days. Enter my cousin, 23 female. She's recently pregnant and struggling financially. Last week, she came to me asking for money to help with the baby expenses. Not a small amount either, basically everything I've saved. She called it a family emergency and said it was my duty to help because according to her, my dream trip is just a luxury compared to her needs. When I said no, she flipped out. She accused me of being selfish, heartless, and not caring about her or her baby. She told me I can just save up again, like 2 years of hard work can magically be redone overnight. Then her mom, my aunt, chimed in saying I'm a terrible family member and that I'll regret this when I'm older. My cousin even told the rest of the family, and now everyone is texting me saying I'm prioritizing a vacation over her child's future. I've worked so hard for this, and I don't feel like it's fair to give it all up just because she didn't plan her life better. But the guilt trips are getting to me, and now I'm questioning myself. Am I being selfish for wanting to protect something I've worked years to achieve? Am I the asshole?
She's literally doing what she can. OP is literally doing what she can to live her dream.
Mm-hmm.
And her cousin fucked somebody without a plan on what to do with a child and is reaching out to her cousin. And then her aunt is like, oh, you got to give her this money. What the fuck are you doing, aunt?
Right.
Like,
and it sounds like the type of family that if you save, you shouldn't tell them.
Right. 100%. And like, why would you, like, I understand, like, ask them for like a little bit of help. Like, hey, would you be able to like bum me some money to get like a crib for the kid or something? Like, that's understandable.
That's
yeah,
a little
sure.
bit different.
Sure, I'd do that. You might not even, I won't even like borrow that. Maybe I'll just give that.
Right. But she saved for 2 years.
Right.
And for a study abroad program. Like, it's not even just a trip. Like, that's to better herself. This is to better herself and her life and what she wants for her future. And she's done this herself. She has scrimped and lost out on opportunities and things like that so that she could work her ass off to have this money.
Right.
And you just want to come in and be like, oh, hey, I got pregnant, so I really need that money.
Right.
Fuck you.
Fuck her cousin and fuck everybody else that's
her
trying
whole
to
fucking family.
Yeah. Like, why? What? Oh, it's a vacation. No, it's
not.
It's the start to the rest of her life.
Right. And if she could do really good over there, then maybe she could really make something of herself.
She really could.
Top comment, not the asshole. Someone else's poor decisions and planning are not your responsibility. If she can't afford a baby, she shouldn't have one. And she also has her mother to help her. Enjoy your travel.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Also, why would anybody be asking a 20-year-old for money when everyone else in the family is older and has had longer to save up?
That's a fair question.
Oh, hey, I called it. People go after savers in the family. Best to keep your money secret.
Yep.
Someone responded to that, and it looks pretty long, but it says, I'm a saver, and you are right. I learned a long time ago to hide it. The same people who will make fun of you for driving the same car for 25 years are the first demanding a handout when they find out you aren't broke. I believe we all ought to help those less fortunate, but we don't have to bleed ourselves dry to do it. I ran into a comment a while back that said givers have to set limits because takers have none.
I agree with that.
It's true. Some people will consume everything they can get their hands on, and trying to help them will be like trying to fill a bottomless pit. They will get mad when you cut them off, but they're going to toss you aside like an empty soda can when you run out of money anyway. Along the same lines, beware of those who suddenly show interest when they find out you're a saver. When it got out, I had my shit together and was retiring in my 50s. I suddenly started getting romantic interest from acquaintances who barely acknowledged my existence before. I haven't improved with age, and I'm not suddenly more attractive or cool. The only thing that has changed is that they think I have money. It was a bit flattery at first until I realized every one of them were working a dead-end job in their 40s and 50s. They don't want me. They want a parachute. Maybe my experiences have made me cynical, but I've seen more than one widow or retiree bleed dry by their love interests.
Yeah, that's a very good comment.
Yeah.
Like, that's someone speaking from experience to a younger, probably someone they can see some of themselves in.
Well, and I did look at her account, and it looks like she's in retail work. Also has an OnlyFans. Which, I mean, good for her. She's doing what she's got to do. And, I mean, I definitely saw a picture of her, and she's got the body to do it.
You're not going to show me?
That's kind of... I can.
That's kind of fucked up.
But, I mean, she's definitely got it, and she's doing what she needs to do to better her life, you know? And I would not feel bad for your cousin. Honestly, like, your cousin is the one who is choosing that.
Like I said, she's 50?
She's 20.
Oh, that's
OP.
Well, damn.
I'm aware. I'm not giving you her name. You're not going to go follow her on OnlyFans.
Well, how much is a subscription?
I don't know.
Because I'm broke, dude.
I think that her family's out of line. And if she's able to do this in a couple years, save up enough to get into this program and do what she needs to do, then in all reality, she just needs to cut the people off that just want to use her for her money.
Well, and like, especially knowing that she's got an OnlyFans, looking like that, she probably makes a pretty good clip.
Yeah, a pretty decent penny. But, you know, she also has to pay for her normal everyday expenses and things like that.
This is the lifestyle she chose for herself.
Yeah.
And if she's able to do this, then the more power to her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people is like, oh, you have an OnlyFans. But, like, some other people, it's like, hey, like, you're good at it.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to a podcast recently that, like, kind of showed the statistics about OnlyFans. And, like, there's a huge chunk of these people that make, like, $100 or less a month.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're trying. But then you have these people that make tons of money. And, like, if you can do it,
do it.
Good for you.
Well, and the thing is even if she's just doing it for a few years to get where she wants to be, okay.
Right.
If it's making the extra money for her to get where she wants to be and she is okay with that and that lifestyle, go for it, boo-boo. Do right. you.
And she's, there again, she's doing all this herself. She's saving this money. Mm-hmm. Whereas her cousin decides that she's going to get pregnant.
Who's 3 years older than her.
Yeah. She decides to get pregnant and then asks for money. Like, come on.
Which, there's another comment. It says, as the saver in my family can confirm, they don't just go after me. They feel entitled to my money. And that's what it sounds like here, is that her cousin feels entitled to her money. And I don't know if her cousin knows how she's making some of that money and is like, oh, well, you can just, like, it's no problem. You can just make it again. But it's still her money. She still earned that money, no matter how she did it.
Right. Well, it's like, okay, so my family is pretty good about helping me out when I need it.
Yeah.
But I don't take advantage of that. Like, sometimes my mom's in town. I'm like, hey, you want to grab me a pack of smokes, some fucking something to eat, bring it over to me? She'll do it. That's my mom. Yeah. She will do anything for you.
But the difference is you would do it for her.
Right. And then, like, my dad, we know my dad's pretty well off. Mm-hmm. Like, the other day, I jokingly asked him to borrow $600 for a guitar that I found on Facebook, and he's like, well, you know, if I didn't have my taxes coming out right now, I would give you that. I'm like, dude, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like, that's not... I think that's the difference. Like, I mean, I know that I could go and I could borrow money from my brother-in-law and my sister and my grandfather, but it's because they know that I would pay them back. Mm-hmm. Because they took a chance on me and let me borrow money in the past. And I made sure, I was like, hey, I will pay you back this amount of money every month until this is paid off. Right. And I stuck to it.
Well, that's the same with my dad. Because, I mean, look, I bought that 3-wheeler from him. I bought a car from him. All of it on payments.
Right.
Like, well, especially that 3-wheeler. He sold it to me knowing full well that I didn't have money coming in for a couple months.
Yeah. And he got paid back as soon as there was money coming in.
Yep.
It's just the expectation of this cousin, it blows my mind.
Just give me some money. I've never just asked, like, hey, let me have some money.
Right. Let me borrow some money.
Right.
Like, if it's plausible, let me borrow some money, please. If not, totally get it. I will find another way.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, too, is so when I was on drugs, I got myself into plenty of bad spots. You know, couldn't pay my rent, all this shit. And, you know, my dad never paid my rent. My mom never paid my rent. My mom helped me get, like, she helped me find a program that paid my rent one month.
Like an assistance?
Yeah, but, like, she wasn't going to give me the $550 that I needed to pay my rent. I mean, I sold half the shit I owned to make it through, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's like, I don't know, I just don't understand that some people would just be like, hey, give me some money.
Not at all. Sorry, I just saw this comment. It says, my cousin once saw me make a withdrawal and saw my account balance. The next time I went over to my aunt's place, she was sitting in the kitchen table with a cigarette and asked very cuntly, what are you going to do with all that money? People suck. Someone replied, I hope you replied, none of your damn business. That person said, I told her I'm saving it. That's what smart people do. Haven't talked to her or her kids in years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very common thing. I mean, I keep my financial situation for the most part very private. There are very few people that I will talk about that with, And those are people that I completely trust.
Right. As it should be. But it's just, I mean, I don't know. I guess there's always those assholes.
Yep.
All right. I'm reading one again.
Yes.
Nice. Man, you got some recent ones in this one, huh?
Yeah.
This one is from RAITAH from 5 days ago. Am I the asshole for telling my ex-boyfriend's daughter it's not my problem? I, 38 female, dated John, 40 male, for about 6 months. We had known each other for a year before we started dating. We broke up 3 months ago. The reason for the breakup was because of his daughter, Tia, 16 female. From the very beginning, she was hostile towards me, rude comments, putting me, my cooking, etc. down, constantly referring to me as that bitch. She said I was the reason her parents broke up. False. They broke up 10 years ago, 9 years before I met John. That's honestly hilarious. I have a stepmom who went out of her way to try and push her way into my life, so I actively did everything I could to be the exact opposite. I tried to give her space. I tried talking to her, asking her what I could do at least to make things civil between us. Her answer, I could voluntarily leave this world. So, that means you could kill yourself.
Yeah.
John was no help. He'd threatened to ground her, take her things away, but they were empty threats, and Tia would just continue her tirade against me. Her mother, Chloe, who honestly is awesome, even tried to talk to her and figure out what the problem was. Tia couldn't come up with one reason why she didn't like me. She just didn't. It all came to a head one night while they were at my house. We ordered food, and I went to go pick it up. When I got back, I found John in my dining room sweeping up the remains of my grandmother's antique pitcher. My grandmother meant the world to me, so seeing the pitcher destroyed broke my heart. I demanded to know what happened, and Tia just gave me a smirk and said, "Oops, it was an accident." I asked her how it was an accident, and she just shrugged and said something like, "I think I bumped the table and it just fell off. There's no way that can happen. My dining table is heavy. You'd have to slam yourself into it to even shake that pitcher." I told them to leave and spent the rest of the night crying. The next day I called John and told him I couldn't do this anymore. He tried to talk me out of it, but my mind was made up. Fast forward to 2 days ago. I leave work and there's Tia. She started going on about John's new girlfriend, Jane. How Jane is a monster. Evidently, Tia tried her old tricks on Jane, but Jane gives it right back to her. Tia calls her names, Jane calls her names back. Tia insults Jane, Jane insults her back. The worst was that Tia accidentally broke something of Jane's, and in retaliation, Jane took Tia's phone and smashed it. I asked her if she'd told her mom. She said she and Chloe, she had, and Chloe decided that Tia wasn't going to go to John's anymore. I told her something like, "It sounds like everything's settled then." Tia started crying, asking if that was it. I just looked at her and said, "Yep, your mom handled it. It's not my problem," and I left. I was talking to my sister about this last night, and she called me an asshole. She said that obviously Tia's hurting and needed me. She came to me for a reason, and the least I could have done was be a shoulder for her to cry on. I just don't feel anything. I think I'm just numb to Tia now. So am I the asshole?
I think that this, I'm going to call her a little girl because she's acting like it, needs to learn the lesson that you can't treat people however you want to treat them, and then expect them to stand up for you when you need them.
I agree.
Like, what does she expect her dad's ex-girlfriend to do? She pushed her away, and now that someone new, worse, came in, now you want to go back to the ex-girlfriend?
Well, and even to go on and say, like, straight up tell OP, like, "Hey, I basically did all the same shit that I did to you," and she's not having it. And then, like, she broke my phone, and I'm a 16-year-old girl, and fucking TikTok and blah, 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 blah. I can't watch my shit anymore. Like, serves you right. Did you learn a lesson? That's what I would ask.
It doesn't sound like it, honestly.
No, she absolutely didn't learn a lesson, but that's what I would have said to Tia.
And the thing is it's like, okay, well, you want your dad with your mom. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It's been 10 years.
Right. You can
let it go.
Dude, I have... God, my parents have been divorced for... I don't even know, really. But yeah, I always have a thought of them being back together. It's not going to happen. I fucking know that for sure. But
I mean, my parents have been divorced for like 35 years. 25 years, sorry.
I was going to say your timeline didn't add up there, but I understand.
And don't get me wrong, like over the years, yeah, it was like, oh, well, maybe this will happen. In all reality, it's best that it didn't.
Yeah, it's like a far-fetched thought.
Yeah.
At this point, I think probably for both of us. Well, definitely.
Yeah.
For both of us.
Don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care anymore either. But that's the difference between being 16 and being in your 30s.
Yeah, but I definitely would have never done this. Like,
no,
my mom's been with people and my dad have been with people, and I'd never acted this way.
No, I didn't either. Like, the worst thing I ever did was got pills from one of my dad's girlfriends, and that was like a mutual thing.
That
between
wasn't
me and her.
I wasn't. Fault, yeah.
No, it was, help me help you, scratch your back, blah 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 shit. Like,
and I mean, don't get me wrong, I had some pretty gnarly fucking stepmoms, like, that were just fucking mean.
See, I never had that. Like, my mom dated a couple guys that I was like, fucking seriously, dude.
Right.
But my mom, like, I think she could get a better read off of someone after I met them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've always been pretty good at reading people.
Yeah.
And, like, I just got a feeling I'm thinking about one guy in particular, but I just got a feeling about this dude, and then it didn't last very long.
Right.
And then, like, her husband now, I wasn't the biggest fan of him way back when, but he's my stepdad now.
He's good for her.
Yeah.
He's good to her.
Yeah. So, and I get along with him great now.
Yeah.
But you gotta, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, what you can say to Tia to make her feel better. There's nothing that's going to make you feel better. You have to fucking deal with it.
And I'm sorry, but why would she go to you? Out of all the people, like, that's like, what, did she want you to, like, run back to her dad and try to get him to break up with the new chick? Like,
right.
And if I remember in some of the comments that I was reading, they've only been split up for 3 months, and he started dating this chick a month ago. So he only had like a 2-month gap in between OP and the new girlfriend.
Well, they only dated for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And they broke up 3 months ago.
Yep.
And 2 days ago, this was posted 5 days ago, so a week ago, Tia comes back.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that's when they started dating. I'm pretty sure that they had started dating a month ago. So, yeah, there was only 2 months in between OP and the new girlfriend.
Right.
So he replaced her very, very quickly. So maybe it's just been a revolving door of women, and maybe that's Tia's issue, but at the same time, like, not all women that come into your dad's life are going to be horrible.
Right.
And maybe this one could have been great, but you ruined that. You can't have it back.
Well, like, I don't even hold too much over the new girlfriend's head. Because, like, a 16-year-old knows the difference between right and wrong.
I don't think I would be calling a 16-year-old names, even if they called me names.
I might.
That's my boyfriend's daughter. Like, I don't think that I don't know. And maybe if it got to a certain point, I would. I can't say what I really would or wouldn't do because I don't know.
Right. Well, what I want to know now is, like, where's the dad in this situation?
It doesn't sound like he does much, but, like, empty threats. Like, doing empty threats when he was with OP with his daughter.
Right.
Like, oh, I'll take your phone, but not actually taking her phone. So, yeah, she's going to get away with anything. So, it doesn't seem like he stands up to his daughter or for his daughter.
Right. Yeah, let's check out some comments here. Yeah, top comment is, I actually don't think Tia wants you back in her dad's life. She's still trying to stir shit and create drama. Once she's rid of the new girlfriend, she'll go back to her old tricks with you.
Yeah, it's a means to an end.
Right. 100% this, I reread the post to see if I missed the part where Tia apologized to OP for breaking the picture and acting like a spoiled brat, but that wasn't there. Tia's just playing more games. She's got to the point to her story where Tia fucks around and finds out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean,
she'll learn. She will. She's 16. She's being a little spoiled brat.
Right.
She'll learn. And unfortunately, it's gotten to the point now that her mom doesn't want her going to her dad's house because a phone was broken. And that is another thing, too, is I understand that Tia at 16 has now broken something of the new girlfriend's. Totally understand that. However, who says that the mom didn't buy that phone?
Right.
And now the mom's out that money.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I kind of hope that the mom doesn't buy her a new one straight away.
Right. And then, like this comment, I don't even think Tia wants OP back as a punching bag. I think she realized that OP was one of the only people who tried to care for her, so she thought she'd be the easy target to get to and to get sympathy from. She'd rope OP into somehow breaking up Dad and Jane, then she'd want OP gone again.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. It sounds like she just wants her dad to herself.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Like, that's not a thing. Like,
yeah.
He's got to live his life, too. You know, he's 40.
Sucks to suck for Tia, and OP is not the asshole.
Yeah. Okay. So, this one is also from AITAH from 28 days ago. Would I be the asshole for cutting off my best friend so close to her wedding? My 31 female best friend, 30 female, is getting married May 9th. We have been close for the last 16 years since 8th grade. Recently, she's completely changed her attitude towards me and has been making super snide comments about my weight. For background, at the beginning of 2023, I was 250 pounds. My current weight is now 154. Good for you.
Wow.
I've put in work because I was absolutely not healthy prior. My asthma was at its worst. Now I barely experience any symptoms, and my knees and back hurt pretty much constantly. Sorry. Going forward, we will refer to my best friend as Christine. At first, Christine was super supportive. She said she would hold me accountable and encourage me to send her gym selfies so she could hype me up. Christine is a plus-size woman around the same weight as my starting weight. I have never, ever said anything to her about that. She's my best friend. She's absolutely gorgeous in my eyes, but when I lost the first 50 pounds, something just totally changed in her. She started commenting about starving myself, which I actually eat more food than I ever have before. It's just different than the fast food, etc. from before. Once, while trying on a swimsuit, she commented about my saggy belly and reached over and jiggled it. Oh. I've had that for quite a while as I am a mom of 2, and my second I got very big, so a lot of stretched skin. It's also always been an insecurity of mine. The responses to the gym selfies also changed. Instead of, you got this, and other uplifting comments, and turned into nice, cool, thumbs up. So I stopped sending them. The vibe felt way off. After I stopped sending them, she seemed to get better with her attitude towards me. I also completely stopped talking about my weight loss. Beginning of 2024, Christine moved in with her fiance, which makes her 3 hours away now. So we stopped seeing each other as much as previously, which was about once a week. We'd be lucky to get together once a month now. At one point, it had been 3 months without seeing each other, and I had gotten to 175 pounds. And as soon as I walked to her at the restaurant, she went from smiling to looking annoyed, looking me up and down. Again, the vibe the entire meal felt so off. She at one point said, "That's what you're ordering," and rolled her eyes. I let it go. Now, this just happened on Friday. The restaurant scenario happened in July, and I've seen her since then. I'm obviously now at my lowest weight. I don't know her other bridesmaid. I am the maid of honor. I've only met her one friend one time prior. I feel this is an important detail because why would anyone defend me is the point. We meet up at the bridal shop to pick out our bridesmaids' dresses. She is asking for us to go with specific floral print, but any dress style is fine as long as they're all either short or long. Christine didn't seem to like anything I've tried on, and every time I came out in a different dress, it's just a bunch of hurtful comments. That really accentuates your saggy skin. Oh my God, someone grab her some Spanx. Followed by her and the majority of the other bridesmaids laughing, except for one. That one hangs off you like a potato sack, no curves. Somebody get her a cheeseburger. Which is crazy because I do have curves and I still eat cheeseburgers. In the end, she said, the style was up to us, so I picked one that has off-the-shoulder straps and a small slit, but nothing too scandalous. The part that really upset me was the lunch afterwards. We went to a buffet-type place where you put all your ingredients in a bowl and they cook it for you. It's second nature for me now to just get things that I know are still going to keep me satisfied but meet my calorie goal. So instead of noodles, I got rice, chicken, fish, shrimp, a ton of different vegetables, and a light sauce. I didn't do the buffet option. I just got the one bowl as well because I know I wouldn't be able to eat more than one. The comments about starving myself just came pouring in, as well as looks exchanged between her and the other bridesmaids. At one point, I excused myself to the bathroom and cried while texting my husband. He told me to just come home, so I made up an excuse and left. While walking out, the other bridesmaid who didn't join in on any of it pulled me aside, asked for my phone number, and sent me a ton of screenshots from a group chat I'm not in of her comments, just totally making fun of me, saying I think I'm better than her because of my weight loss, that there was no point in any of it because my loose skin just makes me look worse, and many more of her tearing apart my body. Mr. Krabs without the shell was one of them. All of this to ask, would I be the asshole if I dropped out of the wedding and completely cut her off for all of this? I know with it being 6 months out and me being her maid of honor, I very well could be the asshole. But I don't know if I can handle 6 more months of this. I don't understand why she is acting this way towards me, but I know this will shake my newfound confidence if I continue to allow these comments. Should I just suck it up and cut her off after the wedding? I know she's been hurting me, but I don't want to hurt her. I love her. 16 years is a long friendship to throw away. Any insight is appreciated, and I apologize for the length.
It sounds to me like...
she is jealous.
Yeah, turbo jealous. And, like, all this shit talking, like, especially behind her back, good on that fucking... other girl.
Yeah, the one that she had met previously.
Good on that girl. And, yeah, fuck that wedding.
No.
Like, you've worked so hard to lose, like, 100 pounds, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because she said she started at 250. She currently weighs 154 pounds.
Dude, do you know how much
that is
fucking
amazing.
work?
I'm trying to lose weight, and I lost, like, 2 pounds, and I'm like, damn, okay. Like,
Well,
that's 100 pounds.
I would like to lose 40 pounds.
I mean, I'm closer to 50, but totally get it.
Like, I just don't work at it.
Yeah, I mean, this...
But OP has worked her fucking ass off. I know it's harder for women to lose weight.
It is, and she is working out. She is calorie counting. She is eating more, which is what you should be doing because she's probably getting more proteins and things like that in, which is what she needs to do, especially with her working out and all of that. Like, she is going for it and literally has been doing this for over a year now. Lost 100 pounds.
That is huge.
That's insane.
And like she even said, like, I have this newfound confidence. Well, you're...
good for her, though.
This girl that's supposed to have been your best friend is just jealous that she... looks the way that she does is what it sounds like. And like, fuck that.
Well, and to reach over and jiggle her extra skin when she knows that she's self-confident, like she has confidence issues when it comes to that. Like, you were literally just pointing out everything that she thinks about herself. And you're just like, oh, I'm just going to make it worse.
Right.
Like, it sounds like a mean girl. And she was okay when her friend was the fat one.
Right.
And now that she's not, she has a problem with it.
Right.
Like, turn that mirror around and look at yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's lucky that...
that's who you're unhappy with.
she's lucky that OP doesn't give her a taste of her own medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, oh yeah, this dress looks good, but look at your arm wings.
Right.
Look at your triple chin. You know, like she could have fucking dished it right back
well,
out.
The shit she was saying to her friend about the dresses, I could easily like understand her being like, hey, that doesn't look great on you. Like, maybe try a different style.
Right.
That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me, Paige, and Caitlin all went dress shopping together. We were like that with each other. We were like, hey, like, that accentuates this area that I know that yourself, have issues with. Like, maybe try on a different one.
Right.
Or that's too short, or, whatever. But none of us meant it, like, mean.
Right.
Because we also hyped each other up when we found a dress that looked freaking awesome on each other. Like, we were, like, our hype people.
Right. You guys all looked great, too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Top comment, you should have opted out at the dress shop because why in the world would you ever be friends with someone that treats you like this? I am someone who's working out and adjusting my food habits currently, but even before I started that process, my friends always hype me up. Even when I would hate how I looked, I know what it is like to have someone make you feel ugly when you are feeling confident. Don't let those people remain in your life. Return the dress or cancel the order, drop out of the wedding, and if it were me, I would be dropping out close to the date or ghosting her just to be petty.
Yeah, your options are not limited here.
No. And the thing is I had to drop out of a wedding that I was a part of because it was not mentally a good place for me.
Yep.
And it was a hard decision to come to. It was a very, very hard decision. And unfortunately, it seems like it has impacted that friendship to the extreme. Now we're more acquaintances, if that, honestly. Right. And that's unfortunate because it was a very, very long friendship. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do for yourself.
You've got, I say it all the time, you got to cut the bad fruit off at the tree, man. And
it wasn't even my friend. It was partially her, but mostly the people that were surrounding her. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't be put back into the mindset of that I wasn't in high school.
Yeah.
Like that, I couldn't do it. It wasn't good for me. So I didn't. And I really think that this girl should do the same. We have an update.
I'm ready.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So this is an update. This was posted 5 days ago. Would I be the asshole for canceling my best friend's bachelorette reservations? As an update, she kicked me out of the wedding. Laughing emoji. I confronted her about it, told her her comments are upsetting me and not the way you should be talking to anyone, especially a best friend. She told me that was fine. I no longer need to be in the wedding. She told me I shouldn't have been so insecure and that if I was happy with my body, her comments wouldn't have affected me anyway. She also tried to excuse the jokes by saying everyone knows in comedy that it's acceptable to punch up. So because she's bigger than me, she's basically allowed to say whatever she wants about my body and it's perfectly fine by her logic. And she wouldn't be saying any of that stuff anyways if I wasn't clearly trying to outshine her at her wedding. I didn't know trying to improve my health and had anything to do with her or her wedding, but I guess it does. That's pretty much it. She told me I can attend as a guest, but that's definitely not happening at all. I am now debating if I would be the asshole if I cancel all reservations under my name for her bachelorette party, which is more of a beach trip, and is taking place in Vegas. The hotel is under my card, so I feel like I should cancel it since I'm no longer going to be attending anyway.
Absolutely fucking cancel it.
We have a reservation under my name as well to Hell's Kitchen. It would be super petty, I'm aware of that, but I don't feel like I should be paying for anything anymore, and I'm sure she's expecting me to keep every single reservation. Cancel.
100% cancel.
Cancel everything. If you want to be nice about it, shoot her a text and be like, hey, I canceled Hell's Kitchen and I canceled the reservation. You might want to get on rebooking that.
Right. Yeah, if you want to be nice.
If you want to be nice.
Which, to me, fucking go nuclear.
Yeah.
Fucking, I wouldn't say anything to anybody.
Top comment, cancel them all. There is 0 reasons your card or name should be on file for something you are not a part of. They damage the room, your card. They empty the minibar, your card. They order room service, you guessed it, your card. She can make the reservations under her own name.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't even think about trash. And honestly, hearing about this girl, that's something she'd do purposely.
She would be petty about it.
Yeah.
Cancel everything. You are no longer a part of the bridal party, and that means everything you were responsible for is no longer your responsibility.
100%.
Which is so true. I mean, if it had ended on, good terms, I could totally see like keeping it or having a conversation with her, but it obviously ended on bad terms. Like, oh, if you were happy with your body, then my jokes wouldn't have, hurt you. No.
Right.
Words hurt.
Right.
They fucking hurt. And she is confident now, but nobody doesn't have, like, everybody has something about their body they don't like. Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
Even freaking supermodels. Like.
No, it's crazy. And, like, honestly, the nice thing, if you wanted to choose the nice route, it would be to let her know, like, hey, I want you to call these places and just switch the name and the card number.
Yeah. If she wants to go nice. However, people are being very petty in the comments. It says, but wait until the latest date that you can cancel without penalty. Someone responded, ooh, I like it. Ex-friend thinking despite everything, she still scored all the bookings and OP wouldn't cancel them. And wham, OP is there like a ninja at the last minute with the last foo. Yes.
And then suddenly this is posted on Petty Revenge.
Right. Cancel ASAP so it gets snatched up by someone else by the time the bride figures it out.
Ooh, yeah, that's even better, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and have the girl who defended her bring it up 2 weeks before the party date that the new maid of honor didn't make plans. They're being very, very petty. Someone said like what we said, but let her know I have taken my name and card off all reservations and obligations. How are you to know it meant they were canceled? ? No. Let it play out. They show up and no one has a clue. Roll on the floor laughing.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't see that name here.
Yep. I wouldn't say a word to any of them. Let them sleep in the bed they made.
I agree.
Everybody is just like giving her all the like.
Well, goddammit, you get what you put in. And if that's the kind of energy that you're putting in on somebody who did all of this for you.
Yeah, fuck
and
you.
And you're just mad because they decided to fucking get their life on track. And
right,
get
and
healthy.
it wasn't that they even were like just trying to get skinny. Like they were trying.
Like the asthma thing. She's trying to get
healthy.
Yeah, literally trying to get healthy.
Like it becomes a health issue. And it's like, she did not have her friend in mind at all. She thought her friend was going to be there for her because she was like, oh, yeah, I'll be your hype woman. Send me, gym selfies, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And then after 50 pounds lost, now you have a problem?
Like, oh, shit, she's actually doing it.
Like, my sister lost a ton of weight when she was about my age. And there were so many people who would say things about, oh, she's lost too much weight. Or when are you going to stop losing weight? Or you don't eat anymore. Or, then it went from comments of you're too big to you're too small.
Right.
It's never good enough for anybody else. So as long as it's good enough for you, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Preach it, lady.
I'm trying.
I like the title of this one.
I thought you would.
It's relatable. I'm just kidding.
Excuse you. I go almost strictly off your list.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you shit. Anyway, this one is another new one. Okay, so this is from RAITAH from 2 days ago. Wife got me the gift I said I didn't want. And no, you've really never done that. No. I was just giving you shit.
Anything that I get that's not off of your list is something that I've heard you talk about.
It's true.
Or I've seen you have or something.
It's true. All right. So I had a birthday 2 months ago. Wife asked for ideas for presents, so I gave her several. Later on, she asked if I would like a coffee maker, and I said no. I drink instant coffee. I would like to break right here.
One ew.
So there has been times that I'm like, oh, I would like to get you this, but like that's not a present. That's like a, hey, look what I got. Like this will help. Like when I was talking about headlights for your Jeep, like that's a terrible fucking Christmas present.
Yeah, which is exactly what I told you.
Right. Okay, so I drink instant coffee. I told her I had a coffee maker in the past, a Keurig, that routinely broke down and I constantly had to fix. It became a chore. Also, my mother-in-law has given me a Yeti for Christmas for the past 5 years, and I never use them. I even asked my wife to explain to my mother-in-law so my collection would end. Then comes my birthday. I open my 2 gifts. It's a Keurig and a fucking Yeti. Both gifts for my wife. I told her to give me the receipts so I could return them. Am I the asshole?
No.
Edit. Wow, I did not expect this amount of responses. Thank you, everyone. I'm still working on reading as many comments as I can. I did take the Yeti and the Keurig back and got myself a Nintendo Switch.
Good for him.
She'd not gotten me those gifts before our conversation. Per the receipt, she bought them 3 weeks after. We definitely do have some marital issues. We actually will have our first couples therapy in about 3 weeks. I'm really hoping it helps, and thank you all so much for the kind words. No, you're not the asshole.
No, it sounds like she got something that she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted a coffee maker, so she decided that that was a good excuse to buy it.
Well,
not something that he wanted.
And, like, he explicitly said, like, I don't want this. And then could you also tell your mom to stop getting me fucking Yeti cups?
And then she gets him a fucking Yeti cup. Like,
right.
I would, if I did that, I would not be offended if you're like, hey, give me the receipt. Like, I need to go take this back.
Right.
Go take it back. Like, totally fine.
Yeah, that's like...
I also would never do that.
Also true. But yeah, like, okay. I am huge on we have too many fucking cups. Yes. And you see how irritated I get.
Every time I get a cup?
Yes, every fucking time. So, like, I've even told your family and my family, do not get Chelsea any cups.
Yeah, but you can't dictate what my family gets me.
I can try.
Yeah, well,
I have tried.
It obviously doesn't work.
I understand. I mean, like, we got cups for the wedding. You got cups for Christmas. I fucking ordered you a book box that came with a goddamn cup that I'm drinking out of right now.
Right.
It's like crazy. We don't have the room for all these cups.
I think that was the only cup I got for Christmas, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did Jerry get you one?
No, I got a candle, socks, and a blanket.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, you know what I'm saying.
And earrings.
So it's like, this is a birthday present, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's a birthday present, which I think that birthday presents should mean more than Christmas presents.
Yeah.
I think, because like, okay, so like this year for Christmas, I bought you everything that you had on your list.
Yes. And more.
Yeah. And in the past, I've always gotten you pretty big birthday presents.
Yeah.
Kayak,
mean, literally
gun.
my first birthday with you.
Yeah,
was a kayak.
Yeah.
Like that was a big one.
I want you to have something that you want and that you will enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And I think we've always done that for each other. Like this past year, like you got me a pot and pan set for my birthday, and I got you the fishing bag that you wanted.
Yeah.
Like we definitely like, if one of us is like, hey, this is what I really, really want, that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
It may be late because both of ours were late because we had to make sure we had the money and the funds and the things like that.
Yeah.
I could understand that if that were the case, and she's like, I just can't afford it. But obviously the coffee maker and the cup was enough for him to get the Switch. I hit the bottom of my chair.
Oh, I was like hearing some noise. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I kicked the bottom of my chair. I was hoping he would like...
Sorry, I wasn't trying to put any dead air in there. I'm just like, I'm fucking hearing stuff, and the dogs aren't hearing it, and I'm like freaking out suddenly.
Yeah,
Spike's both dogs are knocked out. This is a very...
Don't jinx it. Don't even say it.
Yeah, you got.
Don't even say it. Dude. But no, I don't think he's wrong. I definitely think that obviously they are having bigger marital issues, and it's good that they're going to therapy.
Right, and I wonder if like, was the wife trying to be a fucker? Because
like, honestly, maybe she's upset with him about something or has resentment, and is just like, all right, fuck you.
Yeah, which that's trash, and they should be.
It is. They should be in therapy.
Let's check out the comments, shall we? Right here, top comment. You said you didn't want it, and she still got it. That's just weird.
Right.
And then right here, she either wants it for herself or got it free somehow.
Could also she didn't get it for free because he returned it.
Could also be super passive aggressive move, which is super unlikely.
Dude, this is almost everything we said.
Literally. And then I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it was some kind of game so she could see how he'd react. Would he be mad at her and return it, or would he smile through gritted teeth and say thank you? That's a good point, too.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like if you're married to someone, that person is supposed to be your person. You're supposed to be able to be solely yourself with that person. And in all reality, if you got me something that I didn't like, I'd be like, I appreciate the thought.
Yeah.
But this isn't something that I'm really going to use.
I feel like that's happened with us before. With something.
I don't know. But that's the thing, is if it had, we just let it roll off.
Right.
If we can return it, we return it. If not, we figure out someone else who would like it and we give it to them.
Right. I like this comment too. Not the asshole. Return what she gave you and start returning the Yeti mugs too.
Dude. Or give them away or sell them on
that was the
fucking Facebook.
Or wrap them up and start giving them back to her. Let us know what she thinks of her cup on Valentine's Day.
Dude, do that to her and her mom.
Oh my God.
Like, here, take these cups back.
Right.
Fucking the mom unwraps one and he unwraps one.
You don't use them, and a Yeti cup isn't cheap.
No, so why are you still buying them?
Right. Like, I don't know. I feel pretty strongly about gifts. Like, if, I don't know, think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I will say that I feel like I am a pretty good gift giver. I've always felt like that because I definitely try to listen. And if someone says, "Ooh, I would love to have one of these," or something, like in my head, I put it in my little vault. And when it's time to buy them a gift, I'm like, "Ooh, they said this. It may have been 6 months ago, but they said this." See, so that's what I'm gonna get.
And I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I would rather just give you cash because I know that, like, okay, you've got money now, so you can go get whatever you want with whatever I gave you. There are certain people, though, who I've been pretty good at gifting. Like you, obviously, we have an intimate relationship, so I'm going to learn. You have an idea. Yeah. And then, like, I've never really gotten my dad too much shit that, like, means something to him. But
no, but we got him that flag last.
Yeah.
Not this past one, but the year before.
So, okay, yeah. So I'll explain that a little bit. My dad's got a flagpole in the backyard. It's got the American flag, and then he's got a Don't Tread on Me flag. And the Don't Tread on Me flag that he got the last time was like pretty cheap quality, and it tore up in the wind, and it had been torn up like half the year. He just never replaced it. Well, we were looking for a gift, and I found a really cool one. It was
no.
Oh, you found it.
He was sitting there talking about how he needed to get a new one. So you're standing behind me, and I'm scrolling through Amazon, and I found that one, and I like held my phone up to you, and you're like, yes. And I was like, okay, I ordered it in his garage.
Yeah, and it's still holding up. It's still out there, and that was what, last year? For his birthday or Christmas?
It was Christmas 2023.
Okay, so yeah.
Over a year now.
Yeah, and it's still held up. I don't even know if it's frayed yet. I don't know. We've had some windy fucking days. But then, like, you know, like that magnet and flashlight set, I guarantee you that little fucking magnet thing has been used in his garage. I know I've used it 100 times.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is when you do get a gift for somebody, like, make sure they're going to like it. Right. Otherwise, what's the point?
Well, and I'm so big on a useful gift, like something you're going to use, something you're going to like.
Yeah.
Like, which I know, like, I got you a gun, which it's not like you're going to fucking use it all the time. But if we ever want to go shooting, you've got a gun. If you ever need to protect yourself, so.
Well, and it was nice, too, because if you leave the house with yours, I need to have one for myself.
Right.
So it just worked out, and it was nice, and it's pretty and purple, and all the things. Like, I love it. And that was useful. It was something that you knew that I wanted my own gun. Here we are.
Right. And then, like, I'm trying to think of, like, other thoughtful gifts. So, I got him, this was years ago. I bought him.
Jersey?
Yeah. I got him that custom Vikings jersey with I got his last name on it, and I went through the grapevine to find out what his high school football number was, and I got that put on there. Yeah. And that was a hell of a gift, but B and I were like super close then, and he actually got me a one-of-a-kind cigar box guitar, which it's not something I use all the time, but it's a very cool piece. And like I know the guy who made it. It's like
it's just neat,
100% one-of-a-kind, that's awesome too. Like it's not something that I use all the time. In fact, like it just sits in a closet, but it's one of a kind. Like, you're never going to see anything else like it. So that's cool, too.
Right. Yeah, they need some help. Agreed. She needs some help.
Yeah.
And I don't know who he is or what kind of things he has done. Maybe he needs some help, too. I don't know. But hopefully they're getting the help they need.
Agreed.
Okay. So this next one. It's r/am I the asshole 9 months ago. Am I the asshole for skipping my friend's birthday without warning because his girlfriend called me the typical girl best friend? Which is an insult, by the way, if you weren't aware.
Well, I kind of assumed. But.
Okay. Miles and I have known each other since we were 2 because our parents are best friends. Now, I would not say Miles is my best friend. He is a good friend, and we do hang out on occasion and see each other on all major holidays because of our parents. We are in our early 20s. The problem started because of a dumb childhood memory. When we were 8, we had a wedding play at school after care. I played the bride and Miles played the groom. It was a play with horrible songs and uncoordinated kids. Obviously, our parents made pictures and videos of that, and we each have one picture on our family picture wall. Miles is dating Lindy. They met 3 years ago and started dating last year. Lindy does not like me. So every time we coincide at a celebration, she makes a comment about me being the typical girl best friend. She one time said that I secretly wanted to sleep with Miles. I have no clue where she got that impression from. Miles and I have different friend groups and schedules. Besides the monthly catch up over food, we don't really meet that much. Things got worse when Lindy saw the wedding play picture. The comments just got more. She even started DMing me on Instagram saying she knew what game I was playing. I talked to Miles once about this and he told me to give her time. So his birthday was on Saturday and I was invited. Lindy wrote me saying something along the lines that she was going to supervise me. This was their first birthday as a couple and I was not allowed to take up his time. I was honestly just fed up. I tried talking to Miles once more, but he said the same thing. So I just skipped out. When the party started, I wrote a quick sorry I can't come and told him my mother was going to bring his present. Now he is upset with me for missing his birthday. Lindy is mad that I made it all about myself, and my parents are upset I missed a family function. There is an edit that I'm going to read before we respond. Okay. Edit, I didn't show anyone the messages because I didn't want to make more of this than it is. I didn't want to poison anyone against Lindy, especially not if she is a new fixture in Miles' life. That would make both our lives more difficult. I hope that just talking about it might be the more adult thing. My parents are not mad at me or blowing up my phone. They and Miles' parents are just bummed out that this was the first birthday that I ever missed. As to why she is jealous, I have no idea. Neither of our parents ever wanted us to get together. There were no jokes or anything about it. I think they also never would have want that. The wedding play picture is in the living rooms because they loved the picture and it was our first play.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like this, what did you say her name was, Lindy?
Lindy.
Sounds like Lindy's just jealous that he's got a girl in his life that probably knows everything about him.
Yeah.
And she sees it as some
Get
sort
over
of
it.
Yeah, some sort of competition, which it's clearly not competition. Like
she doesn't want him.
Right. She's not like texting him every day or.
Yeah, I think it would be different if she was like trying to weasel her way in.
Right.
She's not doing that. Literally, their families get together. It's a family thing.
Right.
His parents are best friends with her parents. They're going to be in the same places at the same time. It pushed them together as friends. She doesn't even consider him a best friend, just a friend.
Yeah, it's...
Top comment, not the asshole. Miles' girlfriend is insanely insecure and jealous of you. You've tried talking to Miles about it, and he won't do anything about it. You're basically getting threatening messages from her at this point. Of course you don't want to be around her. Your parents should understand that their relationship with Miles' parents is just that, their relationship. It's not a family function, whatever they wish it to be. The onus shouldn't fall on you to maintain a friendship with Miles if it isn't working for you under the current circumstances. I do hope you two can work things out since you've been friends for so long, but you don't have to if it doesn't work for you, and you don't need to feel guilty about it.
Right. No, and I think that maybe a more in-depth conversation with Miles would be...
I don't know if Miles really wants to hear it.
I mean,
give her time.
It kind of sounds like it. Like, okay, if he really likes this girl, then all right. Like, in reality, like, is your friendship going to be that ruined if you only see him once a month or whatever? Like,
right. Another comment, I suspect Miles has been telling himself OP is just upset because Lindy is a little uncomfortable / standoffish with her. If I were OP, I would have sent him a screenshot of every text she sent me, and I would have done it right after the first one came in. Made sure he knew he was sticking his dingling in crazy.
That's true, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, that'd be a huge red flag for me. Like, if I had Amber... Okay, so, you know, if, like, you started messaging Amber and saying shit like that, like, she would for sure send me screenshots.
Yeah.
Like, hold on a second. Like, she lives across the country. Like.
Yeah. No, it's stupid. Those be like any guy friends that I have ever had if you were sending some crazy shit to them. Like, no, that's ridiculous.
No, and that's also another thing between us is that we're pretty fucking open. If I have a problem with something you're doing, I'm going to talk to you first.
Same. Sometimes you can warn someone about the crazy you see, but until they see it, you're the problem. Leave them alone to figure it out for themselves. I definitely wouldn't just sit there and let the girl harass me, though.
I can agree with that.
And we have an update. I will update in the first part and clarify some things later. After my post, I talked to Miles. At first, he was kind of mad and thought I had been blowing things out of proportion. Some more details are in my last post. We came to the conclusion of taking more distance while he figures that all out, mainly because I did not want to add stress or petty drama. Then I talked to my parents and explained to them what was going on. They were really upset by how Lindy treated me. Like, obviously, they weren't going to get involved, but it was nice to get that off my chest. Then nothing else happened until Tuesday evening. Wednesday was a holiday, so some of my friends took the opportunity to go to the Irish pub and do karaoke. At some point, my best friend and I went to pee and touch up our makeup. Then Lindy and some of her friends walked in and kind of cornered us. It wasn't pretty. They started loudly talking about man-stealing bitches and how some women were just born to be homewreckers, and imagine being pathetic enough to pretend to be a guy's friend to fuck him, and how pick-me's are the worst. They kept kind of edging us physically into the part where they had hand dryers while pretending we were not there, until my best friend had enough and just pushed through them while drawing me behind him. We were almost at our table when Lindy went right behind me and pulled my hair so that I fell backwards onto like a metallic piece where you were supposed to put your feet on. It hurt so bad that I started to see white. And then a girl next to Lindy poured beer on me. I cannot really tell you what happened, but there was a scuffle and someone dropped one of those heavy pint glasses on my head.
Oh my God.
The Lindys were taken away by police and I was taken to the hospital. My parents were furious, as were Miles' parents. They both came to the hospital. I was severely concussed. My nose was fractured, and the worst thing is that I had a hairline fracture in my back.
Jesus.
I stayed in the hospital till yesterday morning. Miles did try calling me a bunch. According to my parents, they told him not to visit me right away. I did not get an official notice saying that apparently there is now a legal case open against Lindy and the other girl for not only assault but also public disturbance in the bar. So now I'll have to deal with all of that legally. I finally talked to Miles, and long story short, those of you saying Lindy was isolating him was a sign of an abusive relationship was right. He told me all the things she said to him to make him feel awful. She would freak out about anything in her life and take that out on him. She would scratch him and bite him when she was mad, or talk ended with both of us crying and apologizing. We will be closer again, at least so we can talk about these things more often. He broke up with her and is hiding at my parents' house, so that is it for now.
Wow.
Like, physically hurt her.
Over nothing.
Over nothing. She doesn't even want this man.
Jeez.
She doesn't even want this man. I hope you sue her for all the hospital bills and emotional damage. She is insane. Get a good lawyer and make sure the psycho ends up in jail, or at least has a restraining order against her. Wow, I am so sorry. Please stop trying to keep the peace or letting bad behavior go unchecked. This is how horrible people get away with hurting others. I am not just saying this to you, but to anyone that reads this. We need to call out every insecure, cruel, vindictive thing and make sure everyone knows when people are garbage, or it will just keep happening. Staying silent is not being an adult and mature. It's being an enabler and allowing monsters to hide in the shadows. Please take care of yourselves and protect your family and friends.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah, that's like fractured her back.
Yeah, that's a serious injury.
That is a very, very serious injury.
Not to mention the broken nose and the
severely concussed.
Yeah. I've been concussed a whole shitload, and that sucks.
Yes, you have.
Thanks to you.
You know what? No, we're not doing that.
Chelsea just helped one of my concussions. She helped it right along.
I didn't mean to.
No, that was funny. I'm gonna elaborate on that just for just for comedic factor. So, I was at work one day and I was underneath a machine and I stood up and cracked the back of my head on this machine. Worked the rest of the day. The symptoms progressed overnight. Well, I ended up going to the hospital. Didn't I? Did I go to the hospital? Yeah, I did go to the hospital just to see if I was concussed. They agreed that I was concussed. I took a couple days off work, and we were doing something.
I was moving into the trailer.
Yeah, I was helping Chels move, and she had this fucking hatch on this vehicle. So it was like an SUV.
My Equinox.
Yeah, so she opened the back glass, and I grabbed something out of it, or she grabbed something out of it, and she goes, "Watch your head." As she's shutting the fucking thing, she doesn't like say, "Watch your head," and give me like a few seconds. Just smoked the top of my fucking head with the corner of this glass. It wasn't even glass.
No, it was the actual like.
It was the actual
car.
door, so it was just straight metal, like on the top of my head. I'm like,
I really did not mean to. We had just started seeing each other too. Like it had not been long that we'd been seeing each other. I don't even think we were official. I don't know. It was just not. Anyway, we have another update.
Oh my God.
New update. I'll update immediately and go into details later. There has been an official court date set for my process against Lindy. It took 2 months to get, and it is another 3 months out, but something is something. Our lawyer said that Lindy is probably not going to jail as she is a first-time offender. If she goes to jail, it would be no more than 3 months. Most likely, she is going to have to pay a fee of 100 days of her income or something like that. I've let my father deal with that 100% because I have no head for it. There is a second lawsuit going on at the time, as now I am legally chronically ill.
Oh, no.
The hairline fracture was not a passing thing, but developed. I am daily in pain. Not every day is bad, but not a day passes where I am not in at least a 2 on the pain scale. As a result, I have not been able to work. Right now, my insurance pays 75% of my former income, and my workplace covers the rest, but I am probably going to get fired. So my insurance filed a claim against Lindy to pay my lost wages. I am right now not in contact with Miles. I tried to be supportive, but being disabled by his jealous ex-girlfriend made me bitter against him. He was a victim, but now I can't live my life, and I blame him partly for that. I am in therapy to work through all of that and have taken up some new hobbies. I have started to write more and am looking into courses or online classes. Miles' parents have been apologetic and have supported me a lot. His mother has been a saint. She volunteered to drive me everywhere, and I have actually become friends with her. We even went to see Deadpool and Wolverine. She is a stay-at-home wife, so we have a lot of time. One of Lindy's friends reached out through my lawyer offering a testimony against her own friend. She also sent a letter apologizing. To make it short, Lindy had told them I was bullying her and that Miles had once already cheated on her with me. So that's where we are right now. Take care and shield your back.
Wow. Wow, dude. That had a fucking plot twist to it, huh?
Uh-huh. I told you. This is the one that I said you wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah, Chels gave me a warning about a story that we'd be reading before we started here tonight. Like, I just kind of brushed it off. Like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I saw the initial post, and I went searching and sleuthing through all of her posts, and I fell in deep.
Yeah, that's a fucking crazy plot twist.
Attacking someone and leaving them likely permanently disabled deserves prison time. The petty bitch in me is thinking if she thinks she's so tough, she would have no idea what's coming to her in a woman's prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's... I don't know. I guess so they don't even have a court date yet, and she's in, like, this... Her back fracture is getting worse.
Yeah, so they have a court date set, but it hasn't come up yet.
She might do jail time.
And now there's a second lawsuit to try to help cover her lost wages.
Yeah, she might be... She might get into some fucking trouble there.
Yeah.
Because that's like... That could be assault with intent.
Here's to hoping Lindy comes from a rich family so you can collect. OP responded, she is not poor. Let's leave it at that. So she'll get her money.
Good.
That person responded, then make the bitch pay.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is as bad as this sounds, like I would be that person that would drain every last bit because she most likely permanently disabled you.
Right. And especially... So the conversation that we had with our friends the other night,
Yes.
Two different things. I don't want to get into that conversation because it's not my business to be putting out there, but
Right.
I agree with what they're doing.
Yeah, not going after everything.
Right, because of the person involved.
And it was an accident.
Right.
This was done on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
She may not have meant to fracture her back, but she sure as shit walked up behind her, grabbed her hair, and pulled her ass to the ground.
Right.
No indication of trying to help her not fall on something. And then for her to be concussed and shit because shit is falling out of the air onto her head while she is on the ground, barely being able to move. Fuck that bitch.
Right.
My parents, this is another comment. It says, my parents had a friend that pushed another friend while drunk. The other friend died of the injuries sustained when he fell. My parents' friend went to jail. So no, if an act causes injury, the person that performed the act is responsible. I hope she rots in jail, and I hope OP gets to a point to lead a normal life.
Yeah, it's all possible, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, fuck that. So, there's more. There is more.
Another update?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I went all the way through. I had to collect all of the links. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's because there's not enough water in it. Sorry, he took a drink of my water and I had put a packet in it, and it's just very strong because it's only one little bottle of water. Hey everyone, so here we are again, and yeah, things have moved along, but honestly, I'm just tired. The first court date, it came and went. It was my insurance company versus Lindy, and surprise, surprise, she lost. She's on the hook for most of my lost wages, which is nice. I guess I didn't have to be there the whole time, which I was grateful for because I've had enough of this mess. As for the criminal case, well, we don't even know if we'll end up going to court for that one. My lawyer is handling it, and I've handed the reins over to my dad because honestly, I've had it. I'm no legal expert, and after the insurance loss, Lindy's in a bad spot. Her legal team is apparently scrambling to do some serious damage control, but at this point, that's not my problem. More of Lindy's friends have crawled out of their hidey holes to give testimony. Turns out this wasn't her first rodeo. Another girl came forward with evidence of Lindy pulling similar stunts back in high school. The poor girl was just sitting next to Lindy's then boyfriend being a normal human, and Lindy went off the rails, started rumors and spreading literal breadcrumbs on her table to trigger her celiac disease.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, she's that kind of psycho. No one could prove it at the time, but now with all of these friends popping up, it's all coming to light. And believe me, these girls didn't have some moral epiphany. They're just terrified of getting fired or having anything negative pop up in their records. The receipts are coming out, and it's getting uglier by the day. Now let's talk about Miles, because that's a whole other dumpster fire. I'm still not speaking to him. Turns out he's known for a while that Lindy was threatening him with bad things if he didn't cut me off and make his parents stop talking to me. And this idiot laughed it off. Thought she meant breaking up with him or something. But no, she was dead serious. Even started stalking me and one of his cousins. She made some fake profile and was sending cryptic messages to his cousin. What did Miles do? Talk her down. Yeah, that's it. She kept giving him ultimatums and he just rolled with it. So yeah, I'm even angrier at him now. He knew she was unhinged and didn't do a damn thing about it. He let her spiral while I got dragged through the mud. His dad finally got involved and dragged him to the police, where they filed a report with all the crap Lindy pulled. They have evidence now from the stuff with his cousin and even photos from when Lindy got physical with him. So at least something's happening on that front. But it's too little too late if you ask me. As for Lindy, well, she's gone radio silent. Except for TikTok, of course. My friends keep sending me her cringy videos, and it's honestly kind of disturbing. She's acting like nothing's happened, like her whole life isn't unraveling. She's got a new boyfriend now, and they're making those awful lip sync videos together. I think she's living at his place, but who knows? Maybe her parents cut her off. Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, and the guy, yeah, one of the friends looked him up. Let's just say he fits right into her pattern. As my grandma would say, there's a lid for every pot. Excuse me.
Chelsea.
I've been trying to hold it in. On the health front, still nothing good to report. My pain hasn't improved, and I'm now waiting for surgery appointment, which looks like it'll be early 2025. The pain is radiating to my left hip now, which is just great. I feel like that sad little dog from the Black Cauldron. But hey, silver lining, I've made friends with a few of the nurses who work with me. One of them braids my hair, which is kind of sweet. I'm also seeing a psychotherapist regularly, most for massages at this point. Oh, physical therapist.
I'm like, what kind of psychotherapist is giving massages? That fucking...
Sorry, guys.
I think we're on the wrong website, dude.
I've read a lot today, so this is... the therapist suggests I start doing pool exercises, so now I'm in an aqua aerobics class for seniors. No, there isn't a disability-specific class in my town, and frankly, I didn't feel like looking too hard. The old ladies are a riot, though. Well, except for one who always looks miserable, but honestly, I'm not one to talk. One piece of good news, I finally got approved for a wheelchair. So at least I can go out with my friends without feeling like my body is falling apart after an hour. I've also been taking a few university courses for fun and playing way too much Fallout, so there's that. And that's where we are. I'm still a mess, but I'm just doing what I can to get through it. Thanks for sticking around, I guess.
It's so crazy that such a little thing led to this.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Her entire life has changed. I can tell you from almost a year of being in pain every day, it takes its toll on you mentally. Mm-hmm. So bad. Like, I got real bad there for a while because it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's ever ending. And for her, it may not be.
Right.
And that in itself, like, the fact that she's not giving up is amazing.
I agree.
And I don't blame her for not talking to Miles. He didn't take that woman's threats seriously.
No, not at all.
I wouldn't talk to Miles either. Okay, top comment for this one. Just reading this made me honestly ask myself, what is wrong with people? I've seen this type of behavior and have experienced a form of this behavior, but Jesus Christ, it's always disturbing. What happened to that person to be that insecure? I have had self-esteem issues all my life, and I never hurt anyone physically because of that. But that's not only takes it to another level. It takes to the freaking stratosphere. No remorse, no recognition of their own actions. Is this narcissism or just plain psychopathy? OP responded, I honestly think she is just hate. Like, she is just venom. I don't think she can be happy if other people are happy because she grew up with everything. Money, looks, friends, etc. But she is greedy. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. We have one more update.
Holy shit, this is...
I know. That's why I made sure that I read this because it was a lot. Final update. 14 days ago. So we've been getting we've got everything up until...
When was the initial post?
9 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So we've been getting it since then.
Okay.
So this was 14 days ago. Hi, everyone. Things have finally settled enough for me to share an update. The court case is over. Lindy was sentenced to actual prison time, and none of it is suspended. She also has to pay restitution for my medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. The court didn't miss a thing. They went through all of the evidence, the testimonies, and even the messages, and it was clear who was at fault. I cannot tell you how much of a relief it is. During the trial, Lindy claimed I had been bullying her and that I planned the pub incident to ambush her in the bathroom where there were no cameras. She said I struck first. 2 of her friends backed her up, but the third one, who was also part of the attack, ended up telling the truth to avoid harsher punishment. It was obvious their stories didn't line up, and when the outside CCTV footage and witnesses from the pub were brought in, her whole narrative fell apart. The court didn't buy it, especially with all of the messages Lindy had sent me before the incident. She could not explain why someone supposedly bullying her would also be the one receiving threats from her. It also came out that Lindy and her new boyfriend have been intimidating witnesses. He even messaged me on Instagram trying to get me to say something incriminating or admit to something I didn't do. At first, I didn't realize who it was, so I replied briefly, but once I figured it out, I stopped immediately. Thankfully, I had already handed over everything to my lawyer, so it was documented. Watching her lawyer try to frame her actions as acting out under stress while knowing she was tampering with the case was surreal. There was a moment outside the courtroom where my parents and Lindy's parents talked. It wasn't an argument, but it was uncomfortable. My parents pointed out how everything presented in court made it clear that Lindy had done. Lindy's parents didn't argue back, but they seemed completely out of their depth. They mentioned being shocked by how much she had escalated things and admitted they hadn't understood how serious it was. They've taken on the financial burden of her restitution, which means I know the money for everything will come through. It's hard to say if they are doing it out of guilt or to protect their image, but either way, it is one less thing for me to worry about. Very nice. Adjusting to my new normal has been a mixed bag. The chronic pain is still there and my surgery isn't happening for a few more months. I've also been dealing with the endless back and forth of German bureaucracy. My insurance keeps sending letters saying, hey, you still disabled? LOL, as if chronic pain and an unhealed fracture could magically fix themselves. Every time I think I'm done explaining my situation, they send me another form to fill out. I'm exhausted, but my doctor has been really supportive and always helps me get the paperwork sorted. Some days are harder than others, and there is a moment where I feel sad about how much my life has changed. A few months ago, I was stuck in the sadness, angry all the time, and constantly thinking about how unfair this all is. I think I was grieving the life I thought I would have. Now, though, I have accepted that this is my life, and even if I never fully heal, I know I'll manage. I'm not letting Lindy take up any more space in my head than she already has. I've started focusing on things that make me happy again. My friends and I started a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and they come over to my place to play. They're so patient when I need breaks or when the pain gets bad. Through the group, I met someone. At first, I was nervous about getting close to him because I thought he might see my situation as too much to deal with, but he's been amazing. He drives me to appointments, brings me groceries once a week, and has never made me feel like a burden. I'm falling in love with him, and for the first time in a while, I feel hopeful.
Aw.
Oh, that makes me want to cry.
No crying.
I've also been keeping my mind busy with the courses and finally rewatching all of How I Met Your Mother. Sometimes I catch myself comparing my old life to this one, and it makes me sad, but I don't stay in that feeling as long as I used to. I've started finding a balance between moving forward and letting myself feel everything that comes with this new chapter. I've distanced myself from Miles' parents. They were wonderful to me, but I realize he needs their support now more than I do, and it should be undivided. I still don't know if I can forgive him. To this day, I haven't. Thank you to everyone who has supported me through all of this. It has been a long road, but I finally feel like I'm on the other side of it. Take care of yourselves and hold on to the people who make your life lighter. They make all the difference.
Nice.
Oh my God, I really do like... My eyes are all tearing up. I love the way that ended.
I understand where she's coming from with the Miles thing, but like, it's hard for me.
I honestly think that she just needs time.
I agree.
And that eventually she could probably have him in her life again. But I really do think that she is finally coming to terms with what her life is.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she will most likely never have the life that she wanted.
Right.
That she expected herself to have. And the thing is Miles was part of the reason for that.
That's true.
So until she can fully, like, forgive him, I think keeping him at a distance is a good idea.
I agree.
Top comment, I'm happy there is some form of closure for you. The pain and the problems you will deal with isn't over in any way, but having this legal chapter closed must feel like a relief in some way. Wishing you the best in the future. OP responded, it truly does. It was looming over me for months.
Yeah, it seems like a good ending.
And the fact that she got prison time, like, as soon
I would like
as
to know
I
how
read that.
much.
Yeah, I don't...
See if it's in the comments anywhere.
Just so far, you might want to see if you can be notified when Lindy is released. Definitely a good thing. And you can sign up, depending on what state you're in, you can sign up. I don't know if it's federally or statewide.
Well,
for
I'm pretty
if
sure this
someone,
is overseas.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they have other things too, where
Yeah.
you can sign up to be notified if something changes in someone's case.
True.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything. OP doesn't respond a lot.
I probably wouldn't either at this point. Jesus. It's been a fucking long year.
Yeah,
almost.
someone asked, you know, if her friends who tried to lie in the court are being punished. She responded, probably a fine, but I didn't inquire at all. Honestly, it sounds like she's just getting, like, fed up with it. I honestly think your composure and maturity throughout this whole saga has been saintly. I'm so glad you are looking forward to new things and experiences now. I hope everything goes excellent for you, OP. OP responded, I have not been composed. Ha ha ha. I was angry as fuck. I didn't even want to deal with the legal shit.
Well, I'm glad she did because
Me too.
it's paying out now.
It is. And the fact that Lindy's parents are just going to pay it, fucking good.
Right. Good riddance.
So then they're talking about Miles. Someone said, I get it that his inaction really fucked OP. I'm just saying if they were a woman, people would be more focused on them being a victim of an abusive relationship and wouldn't be spitting this virtual on them. The nuisance of victims having some sort of responsibility for what happens to them is over every applied to men on these subs. OP responded, hi, this is not true. Victims don't get blamed at all. Reddit is one of the only places I have seen where people can actually pinpoint and get through to a man being abused. There have been many posts of people treating male victims with a lot of empathy and grace. In this case, Miles is both a victim and a perpetrator. If he had told anyone of Lindy stalking me, her cousin, etc., or even her threats, we could have done something. But now I am disabled.
But did he know about that stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that that's why she initially stopped talking to him, because she found out about it, and then his dad dragged him down to the police station to report it. Yeah. Someone asked, where is Miles? He didn't reach out or at least show up to court and speak with you. OP responded, I don't know. I've blocked him out of my life.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, OP is responding every now and then. Definitely responded in a different language. Looks German.
Well, she did say that she was dealing with German insurance, so.
Right.
Was ist das?
What? What does that mean?
I think it means, what is this?
But you don't know?
I took like 2 days of German in high school.
Sarah took German. I bet she could tell us.
Just send her a picture and be like, translate.
Right. If she still knows. I mean, we've been out of high school for 10 years.
You're so old.
Shut up. You've been out of high school longer than me.
Only for 15 years.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she says anything. I'm still searching for OP comments, but it doesn't say. It just said that, she got prison time.
Did you just say you've been out of school for 10 years?
Yeah.
That's it? How the fuck did I graduate 5 years before you? You're 29, turning 30 this year. I'm 30.
So, no, I've been out of school for...
What year did you graduate?
This year it'll be 12 years.
What year did you graduate?
13.
Okay, so yeah.
So this year will be 12 years. I said 10 years because I know I've had my 10-year reunion that I didn't go to.
Yeah, reunions were not a thing that I was ever even slightly interested in. At all.
Yeah.
Ever.
We do have one more story.
We do?
We do.
This is our longest podcast, honey buns.
Oh, goodness.
I'll read it.
Okay. Yes.
La-di-da-di-da. Okay, this one is from AITAH. I always jumble those letters. I, 33 female, told my boyfriend, 33 male, that I'm no longer interested in marriage. This is a throwaway account. I, 33 female, have been in a 10-year relationship with my boyfriend, Carl, 33 male. Carl. After the first year of our relationship, I made it very clear that I intended to be a wife someday. By the time I was 28, I started to remind him of my goals and expectations, and Carl told me that while he knew he wanted to marry me, he just wasn't ready yet and didn't like how I was pressuring him and called me controlling. Eventually, we broke up, but 6 months later, we got back together and even moved in. Looking back on it now, I realize that wasn't the best decision, but I was so emotionally attached to this man and felt so invested that I was willing to go back to him. Carl and I have now been living together for 4 years, and while I stopped being happy about it after the first 6 months, living with him isn't a bad experience. Plus, I always thought that us getting married was just around the corner because he said he was ready to commit to me, but he wanted to wait for the right time because I deserved a perfect proposal and a more stable husband. I've been going to therapy for the past 2 years and recently had an epiphany. Since childhood, I've always wanted a wedding, but never really gave much thought to being a married woman 24/7 and what that would mean. Given my country's shift in politics and new laws that politicians are trying to pass, I realize that not only am I fine with never getting married, but I'm starting to lean more into no longer possessing the desire to do it. Since then, it feels like I've been set free in a way and started focusing on myself. One of the major things that I've done is tell Carl that I'll no longer assist with babysitting his nephews and niece and instead focus more of my time into getting certified in something to increase my earning potential and just relaxing. Carl seemed nonchalant about it at first, but then said that we needed to have a sit down when I sent Carl's mom and his brother a text that they had 3 weeks before I stopped helping out completely. Carl said that while he understands my desire for more personal time, it's important to be there and sacrifice for family. I told him that he could switch around his own work schedule and help with the kids since they're technically his family, and he said that the children love me and that one day they'd be my family too once we were man and wife. It was in that moment that I told him I no longer desired marriage, and while I gave my reasons, Carl still took it as me wanting to break up with him and or thinking that he would make a terrible husband. That is not the case at all, but he's starting to lash out and get suspicious, and I just don't know what to do. How can I get my boyfriend to see that it's me, not him? Am I the asshole?
Maybe explain it the way that she explained it in the post.
I agree.
Like that these are the reasons behind her changing her mind on marriage. I don't think it was fair of him at the beginning to be like, oh, you're pressuring me, you're this, you're that. They'd been together for years. Mm-hmm. When me and you first got together, I set my expectations.
Yep.
I was going to be married. I was going to be a wife. Mm-hmm. That is what I wanted for my life. I was not going to be in another relationship for a very long time being told, yes, I'm going to marry you, and then it just never happening. And if it had intimidated you, oh well. That's how I felt at the time. Because in all reality, I wanted to set my expectations up for you to understand that that's where I was coming from. She set those expectations. He said, nope, that's not what he wants. He's not ready. Okay, I understand if you're not ready. I don't think they should have gotten back together and moved in together and all of the things. I really don't. I think she should have started over with someone else.
Yeah, it sounds like that probably would have been the best option for OP because it seems like she's there.
Seems like she's content.
Yeah, she's just like, this is fine.
And that's not okay. And the thing, I will say that I love that she's making strides to have her own time. It sounds like she's definitely formed her life around him and his family and things that he needed and his family needed. Mm-hmm. I understand to a point where her boyfriend is coming from like, hey, like this is your family too, like da da da, but it's not.
Right.
It's not. And she is babysitting most likely for free because of you. And that's taking up her time. That's taking up her time to do what she wants to do, to help her career, any of those things. Right. And that's not fair to her. And at least she gave a notice. She said 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's like...
That's more than some people give.
I agree. I think that this situation... I don't think that she's the asshole, but I think that she needs to clarify things with her boyfriend.
And definitely maybe like look inward and see what she really wants. Does she still want to be with him?
Right.
And if not, then she needs to really figure that part out.
Let's see. What was this part that I... This confused me. Carl and I have now been living together for 4 years, and while I stopped being happy about it after the first 6 months... Living with him isn't a bad experience.
Maybe stop being like giddy, excited about it after 6 months.
Yeah, that
like happy in the situation, maybe just content. I wonder if she says anything about it in the comments. Because I'm guessing that other people got confused about that as well.
Not the asshole, but are you sure you want to be with him? It kind of sounds like for a long time you've both needed to go your own way, but are too scared of life without each other. OP literally wrote, Carl and I have now been living together for 4 years, and while I stopped being happy about it after the first 6 months, living with him isn't a bad experience. So yeah, staying with someone because it's not a bad experience,
Yeah. That's not a good reason.
Let's see.
I don't know. It just sounds to me like they just, it doesn't sound like they communicate. Like, I don't understand what it is about all of these people that just won't communicate. Like, you cannot have a good relationship if you don't communicate.
Not the asshole. Now that you have dropped the babysitting and informed him of your feelings, you have changed the power dynamic of your relationship, and your desire for things to just continue the status quo may not be possible. Your relationship is probably over. His reaction has already shown how insecure he is now that you have taken away his ability to dangle marriage as a way to control you. Even if you manage to save it, it's unknown if he can handle a relationship where he no longer is control of you.
I could see that.
I could see it too. I'm not seeing any...
Especially, like, out of the blue, you know? Here, let me see if I can go to her profile and see if I can find any comments from OP.
Yes. Where is the food, Chelsea?
Well, that would be on the counter. OP does live in America. So OP does respond to some comments. I don't know what to call it, but I'm between wanting kids and being child free. I could really go either way. Although giving where I live in America right now, I would not give birth in the state that I live in. But OP does not say like where that is. Someone said that she is stringing him along. And she said, how am I stringing him along? As soon as I realized my change on a stance I used to have, I told him, am I not allowed to change my mind after 10 years? And it's like, are you just content because it's been 10 years?
That's what it seems like. You know, when we went through our bad spat, that was one of the things that I had to try and look past. I had to, when I was trying to find what made me happy, I had to realize that I had to look past the time that we had spent together.
Right.
And, you know, what is truly going to make me happy? Is it staying with you just because we've been together forever? Or do I need to do what's best for me and move on? Fortunately, for the sake of our relationship, I chose that you did make me happy. It took a long time to realize that. And several conversations with friends and family finally made me realize that, like, okay, I had to really put myself in my own shoes if we chose to separate.
Right.
Where would I go? What would I do? How would I feel? Mm-hmm. And essentially, I'm like, I just immediately I knew like how much I would miss you. And like that in itself was like, man, I don't want to leave. But why? Why is it that I would miss you?
Yeah.
Would I miss the fact that there's just somebody there every day or somebody who makes me dinner?
Or is it actually that person?
It was actually that person.
Right.
So, and that's what really changed it for me is like someone put it in perspective for me. If she left right now, how would you feel? If she died right now, how would you feel? Mm-hmm. And that's like kind of extreme, but it's what I needed at the time. And then, shortly thereafter, I was looking at you while you were sleeping next to me. And I'm like, I do love her.
Yay, me.
And that's, I think, when everything really started to change with us.
Yeah, things started to get better once I think everybody meaning me and you, knew that we were going to try to work it out. OP does respond to one comment and says, honestly, I'm cool with how we're living right now. We live in an area that I know I couldn't afford on my own, and we split rent and utilities 50-50. So I'm able to save more. It's not perfect, but I'm content. Yeah. I don't. Unfortunately for this OP, if the boyfriend decides, hey, I'm done, then they'll have to figure it out. However, after 10 years, if the boyfriend is not like ready to settle down,
well, and it's like,
it's just like now the choice is taken from him.
Yeah, it's
and
kind
is
of
that what upsets him?
It's kind of a double-edged sword there too, though, because like maybe he did have a realization like I had, and then now she's on a different ship.
Well, and the thing is she's not saying she wants to break up. They've been together for 10 years as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
Just continue it.
Well, and maybe she needs to have that conversation with someone close to her too.
Yeah.
Like, is this really what you want? Imagine your life without him.
Well, and I don't think she really wants to, because it just seems like everything is working and has been working for so long. Why change it?
Right.
Well, that's not a reason to not change it.
Right. Yeah, you can always change for the better. You just have to be willing to do it.
Well, and most of the scariest things in life are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to go for it.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yes. And we have now turned into all of the little sayings.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
But yes, I do have to cook dinner, and we've been on for an hour and 45 minutes.
Good for you.
What?
I don't know.
Okay. So we hope you guys enjoy this episode. Like, comment, share, tell your friends about us, subscribe, do all of the things, and have a great night.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.